Hi there, Virgo. Welcome to your end of February 2024 General Tarot Update. It's Rena here. Not it's raining here, as somebody thought. Oh, there's your card. How do you like them apples? That's kind of your card too. I mean, your pentacles, but the heart of the matter is the Hermit card, and this can be feeling the need to kind of do some soul searching, do some deep thinking about your own life, your own journey for some reason. It can simply be spending more time alone for whatever reason. I always think like if there are marital problems, relationship problems, and like you live under the same roof with another person, that it can be kind of, you know, separating from that person in the physical space sense of the word, so that you're not having to be exposed to that person if it's difficult for you to really concentrate on what you need to concentrate on, like deciding if you have a decision to make, like should I be with this person. And when I look at the past position, we have the Nine of Wands. You see the two. Well, you probably don't. Some of you might not know, but that Hermit card is numbered 9, but it's in the Major Arcana, and this is the Minor Arcana version of the tarot. So this Nine of Wands can be. You can see the expression on the young woman's face. It's kind of wary. Not weary, which means tired, but wary, which means like the person is cautious. They're not really, this is a card of boundaries. So it can be the person who is like, don't even think about doing X, Y, or Z because I'm setting this boundary. Don't try me. But it also can be a situation of somebody who has like a wall up, maybe because they have been hurt and they're kind of like being a little bit excessive with their boundaries because of past betrayal, past hurts, and it's something that you're trying, it's like a self-protective thing. And I think that that's normal and natural if you have gone through like a bad breakup or something along those lines, that you kind of, the person tends to exaggerate and go the opposite direction, but it doesn't mean that that'll be forever. I do think, though, narcissistic abuse can be part of that, because with the Nine of Wands, I see the Hermit card, so I'm thinking of somebody who is separated from somebody. You're not with that person, but the other person may have been the one who initiated the separation and now is trying to come back into your life. And that could be what the Nine of Wands has been. The reason that this happens is because narcissists, I'm talking about malignant narcissists, not the covert ones, but the overt ones, they are trying to get reactions from the people that they're torturing. And one way that they do, they're energy vampires. So what they're trying to do is they're trying to evoke a reaction from the other person because they feed off of negative energy. That's what makes them feel alive. And when they don't get that supply, they can wither away. So they have to keep coming back and forth. And sometimes they'll reject the person and then they come back again. But see, sometimes people don't realize that they don't have to say yes when that person says to come back. Just because this person has controlled you in the past doesn't mean you have to allow it again. The higher message is the Queen of Pentacles. The Pentacles, well, Queen is the water element and Pentacles is earth, and both of these are feminine, which is passive, meaning that it's not trying to dominate, it's not trying to go outside of itself. So this is a very domestic type of energy. What it could be telling you is you already have everything within yourself, even on the material level. You don't need somebody else uh, in your life. You can desire it, but you don't need it. It's not something that if you don't have it, it's going to be the end of the world. And so it's one of those things, and it's a card of like enjoying your home. And I would also say with queens and kings, this idea of having authority over something, feeling in charge of something. And so this means that you are not somebody else's subject. You are not somebody else's child, someone who gets pushed around. And it may have taken you a minute to get there because it might have been through that solitude and that soul searching that you have embraced that side of yourself, if it's something that you didn't have before. And it can feel really good because, again, you may not have initiated a separation, but you have come to appreciate the results of it nevertheless. And that's always a great thing because it means that something that we thought might have been this horrible thing ends up being the best thing that ever happened, even though at the time it may have not felt like that. What crosses you is the Temperance card. This is a card associated with Sagittarius, which is a sign that squares off to you. I'm a Sag, so I square off to you. No, I'm just kidding. Well, I have the moon in Virgo, and I have 2 outer planets in Virgo. So hopefully that tips it in the balance of resonating with you. But yeah, the Temperance card is a card. I always think it should be like Libra in a sense because of the balance. Temperance is kind of like that balanced approach, but it's the idea of as above, so below. This idea of heaven and earth, or the spiritual and the material. Virgos have the material down pat because you understand the material energy very well. But sometimes, and this is also because you're ruled by Mercury, it can be overly analytical and overly on that level and not take it to the spiritual level. So it might be something along those lines. Like the Hermit might have you trying to find some sort of support for everything that you're going through, but it's almost like maybe you're getting in your own way in a sense. Maybe you're being too analytical and you're not allowing intuition to flood into you. I've had, having the moon in Virgo, the moon is the intuitive heavenly body that astrology is connected to. Well, I mean, Neptune, you could say too. But anyway, I do have a tendency, if something pops into my head, I'm going to like analyze it. And I might say, I'm not going to mention that because I haven't vetted it enough. And now I just say, if something pops into my mind, I'll say it because I read somewhere that is something to do. And I'm talking about when I'm doing these readings, I'm not talking about just having a conversation with someone, unless it really feels relevant, obviously. But yeah, so there may be something going on and it's blocking what the hermit represents. Some of you may be having a spiritual awakening. And people who are having a spiritual awakening, you may feel like you are a hermit at home, the Queen of Pentacles, and you love it and you feel guilty about it because you're putting the Nine of Wands can be you're kind of putting up boundaries. Maybe, and this happens. I've heard people talk about this, that they don't feel like they resonate with family and friends anymore. This is a widespread situation because there's been a mass awakening um, since the situation that occurred in 2020. I can't believe that was 4 years ago. I just can't. It just is so mind boggling that we've lived under this thing. It's like this daily thing for 4 years. And yet, there have been a lot of spiritual awakenings. And one of the things that happens when people go through spiritual awakenings is that they start to crave solitude. That's what the hermit is connected to. It's funny that it's connected to your sign, Virgo, because actually I connected to your opposite sign of Pisces, which is the 12th house, and that's the hermit's, the monk's domain. That's why that is in all spiritual traditions. Solitude is one of those things. Not 100%, but that is one of the things because it's all about you. It's not about gaining this consensus from other people about like, oh, what do you think about this aspect of spirituality? It's not about like trying to get other people's opinions on it. Yeah, I mean discussion, but you have a unique path. I was going to joke and say if your sun is in Virgo and you have Mercury in Libra, that might be something you would do. Is people that are have Libra energy tend to like ask other people how they should think about things. So anyway, I'm just rambling on, I suppose. Oh, I didn't even pay attention to this card, but this is a card that I would associate with spiritual awakening. What's coming in? Eight of Cups, leaving behind what no longer serves you, but also this feeling of leaving behind what no longer feeds you spiritually. Cups is water, or emotionally. So same thing with relationship issues. So I would say turning your back on anyone who is not, maybe the weariness that I was referring to with the Nine of Wands is someone who you no longer feel that you are on the same page because of spiritual upgrade or something, that you feel like you don't have anything in common with that person. And so it's very difficult for you to kind of, deal with them. The outcome is a Ten of Pentacles. This is a card of great material abundance or even wealth. So that's an interesting card to get. I would extend it. I would not just be literal about this, because if what I have been discussing is true for you, I feel like this is more than just material things. It's, to me, you could say it's about winning the lottery, but the spiritual lottery, the happiness lottery, because you're, the earth element, so Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn, one of the things, there's like this anchoring energy. There's this, the earth is beneath our feet. If you've ever heard the term being grounded. And sometimes people that are undergoing spiritual awakening, or they're on their spiritual path, there can sometimes be ungroundedness, either because their kundalini is rising and it's not something that they have been actively pursuing, so they know what to expect. Sometimes people have like very intense reactions to spiritual upgrades. that make them feel like they're crazy, or they're just not with it. They lose interest in the material world. Some people have out of body experiences. And so being embodied doesn't really hold the same importance. And that might be, a phase that people have to go through to get to the other side, especially if they're earth signs, because they're so used to being in that space of the physical. But um, now that I think about it, the 10 of Pentacles to me is the ultimate embodiment, which is kind of like a, trendy buzzword in the New Age community. And basically, from my understanding, what it means is that we're not trying to, always be astral projecting or all of that stuff, or, tripping on ayahuasca or something. It's about being in the body because we chose to be here on this material plane. So the lessons that we're learning that have a cosmic bent to them, we're learning while we're here in this body. Just like, spiritual bypassing, when people don't want to deal with their shadow. You could say physical bypassing, when people don't want to deal with their physical self. And I feel like the 10 of Pentacles is really that ultimate sense of embodiment, which means that, like the Hermit, I started the reading with the Hermit, which is like this, person that is kind of otherworldly in the sense that they're not participating in the group situation. They're standing apart. And the 10 of Pentacles is being, I think the number 10 might have something to do with family, because I did see 10 of Cups. And so that's how I see it, is that there is this sense of coming back to yourself. And how that relates to your life, I can't say. But the 8 of Cups gives you the courage to walk away from what isn't serving you on the emotional level, but you still can have that groundedness nonetheless. Okay, Virgo, that's what I have for you. I hope that this resonated. If you'd like a private reading, I am primarily an astrologer, and I do chart interpretations. I do transit reports, and I have like a combo of those two readings. They're actually separate readings, but if you buy them as a package deal called my deep dive reading, you save money. And if you're interested in other topics like life path, career, love, I have readings for those as well. You can find out more information at the link below. I'm at RainaMoonAstrology.com. Thanks for watching. Bye.